this. Don't be a brick. Don't be a brick that it's, you're just all about yourself. But be this in discovering who you are, how God made you. How God made you, and understanding who God is. I mean, the Bible calls him, the Bible says that God is the rock. Jesus is the rock of our salvation, or the cornerstone, the important piece that without it, everything will come down. This is what matters most, is this image. And I want you guys to really stick this and burn it in your head, is this stone on what God can do in your life. And now where's my stone? I'm going to put my stone on this now. Throughout this Christmas time, I was really kind of doing this over the last couple of days and reflecting on what God has done. And I got to watch for the first time ever. I thought it was trying, I didn't want to be like everybody else and watch all those cheesy Christmas movies. I always ignored the very old ones. I've never seen like A Christmas Story or Miracle on 34th Street. Never seen those. Never saw It's a Wonderful Life. I thought that was that's stupid stuff. I never watched it. Never chose to. And then this Christmas, I'm like, you know what? I want to see It's a Wonderful Life. I've never seen it. I'm feeling cool about it. I don't know if it's that I'm getting older, wiser. I don't know. But I just felt, you know what? I think that's the movie for today. And I was supposed to watch it with my wife. I think she lasted maybe the opening credits, and she fell asleep because of obviously the whole baby thing. She gets knocked out by like 8 o'clock. And so she fell asleep. I was left alone to watch the movie. And it was an amazing movie. I thought it was really cool. And at the very end, I cried like a baby, to be honest, okay? I cried like a baby because it was not just so much of the story. To be able to see, if you don't know what it's all about, it's that he discovers that, he thought, he had this idea of what he wanted his life to be. He was trying to be this brick. He wanted to accomplish all of this in his life. And things happened, didn't work the way they did, and so he never could reach his goals, and so he just settled for his dad's job. He took over his dad's business and the loan in the bank, yeah. And so that's, he thought it was stupid. He thought it was wasting his time, but he was making a difference in other people, helping him with loans and things like that, and helping him get in homes. But he was always disappointed with his life because it's not what he wanted to make of it, And so he had said, I wish I was never born, and then this angel comes and shows him, this is what your life would have been if you were never born. And he got to see the big impact that his life really had, not based on what he was able to do, but really it's on how the process that God had brought him through. God had used him in this great way. And at the very end, he, obviously he was very grateful and appreciative, and that's, It's a Wonderful Life. He realized how great his life was, and he was grateful to God and everything. And as he's back with his family, he opens this book, and it was the book that the angel had, and he kind of left it there for him. And he read this quote. I wanted you to read this quote. This is what got me. This is what got me at the very end. At the quote, in the book, I think it was a Charles Dickens book, the angel said to the character, the main actor, I can't remember his name right now, he said, remember, no one is a failure, or no man is a failure who has friends. Because at the very end, he saw, because he had made such a difference in everybody else, when he needed help the most, his friends stood up and helped him. And it was a miracle that happened at the very end. And so this was this phrase, but as I read this, I had to run for the remote, and I had to pause it, because I believe with all my heart that as I read this, God had, because you see this as a screen, and he's not reading it to himself. You're supposed to read it for yourself. No one's saying this out loud. It's just there. And as I was reading it in my mind, I actually at the same time could hear God's voice reading it back to me, but he changed it. And I want you to this is what I heard as I read it in the movie. It says, remember, no one is a failure who has God. That phrase is what broke me at the end of this movie. Because, this last year's been very difficult for, a lot of people, if you want to say, the last couple of years. And, for us and for me and my family, this year was especially hit us really hard when it came to finances and money and things breaking down, and never in my life having to go to friends or family to say I need help. That was a very, very humbling, to me very shameful experience. And I'm sharing this with you not so you feel bad, not because I'm gonna collect a special offering on the side. I'm not saying any of that because I'm sharing this. I really feel confident in sharing it because this is what God did. And God had brought me through and brought my family through a difficult time, but he showed himself to be faithful with the friends and the people that he put in my life. And even though I felt like a failure because all I could get my kid was 3 used DVDs from Movie Stop for Christmas, and that was it, he loved those DVDs. And and it wasn't about the stuff, it wasn't about the stuff. This Christmas was really special to me because he was, I physically got to, really forcefully, I guess in this situation,